Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome to Breaking the Silence. I'm Renee, and today is sort of a little bit different. I don't have Kelly here with me, so she'll be back next week, but I still am excited to be here with you and to just chat. So, with that said, go ahead and grab your coffee, settle in, and let's just spend a few minutes together. So, over the past several weeks, we've spent a lot of time talking about avoidant attachment, unhealthy relationship patterns, emotional unavailability, and all of the confusion that can come from loving someone who struggles with intimacy. Today, I want to shift the conversation. Because after you spend enough time learning what unhealthy love looks like, eventually you have to ask yourself a different question. What does healthy love actually feel like? What does secure love feel like? And here's the interesting part. For many people, especially those who have experienced trauma, abandonment, inconsistency, or emotionally unavailable relationships, secure love doesn't always feel exciting at first. In fact, sometimes it feels unfamiliar. Sometimes it may even feel boring, and we've talked about that in past episodes. So today we're going to talk about what secure love actually feels like, why it can feel so strange at first, and how to recognize it when it shows up. I think one of the biggest differences between secure love and insecure love is consistency. Secure love doesn't leave you constantly wondering what's happening. You don't wake up one day feeling adored and the next day feeling ignored. You don't spend your evenings trying to decode text messages. You don't spend hours analyzing whether their tone changed or not. You don't have to become a detective because secure people tend to be predictable. Not perfect, predictable. Their words generally match their actions. And I think that's a very important thing to remember. They say what they mean, and they mean what they say. Tuck that little nugget away. like it matches up. Like, don't just listen to all the words and think, oh, but they said this. But if they're saying this and their actions show something completely different, it should match up. If they say they'll call, they call. If they're busy, they tell you. If something changes, they communicate it. And because of that consistency, your nervous system begins to relax. I think this is one of the hardest concepts for people who grew up around chaos. Because if your nervous system learned that love was unpredictable, then chaos can actually feel familiar. You may mistake anxiety for connection. You may mistake emotional highs and lows for passion. You may mistake uncertainty for attraction, but secure love feels safe. You can have hard conversations without feeling or fearing abandonment. You can disagree without believing the relationship is about to end. You can be honest about your needs, and you can show up imperfectly. You do not feel like you're constantly auditioning for your place in someone's life. You know where you stand. And honestly, if you've spent years in survival mode, emotional safety can feel strange at first. One of the things we talked about during the avoidance series is that many unhealthy relationships suffer from a lack of communication. People withdraw, they disappear, they shut down, they avoid difficult conversations. Secure love isn't the absence of problems. Unfortunately, a lot of times avoidance think that that's the case. Like there shouldn't be any problems. Like their person, it will basically sort of be perfect, that there wouldn't be conflict, there wouldn't be problems. And that's not reality. It's the willingness. So it's not that you're not going to have problems, but it's the willingness to work through them. Secure people still get hurt. They still get frustrated. They still make mistakes. But they don't make you guess. They talk. They clarify. They repair. And that changes everything. Because conflict stops feeling like a threat and starts becoming something you navigate together. And I think that is a huge point to catch. When you are with somebody that's secure and you are secure yourself, conflict doesn't feel scary. It doesn't feel like a threat. It feels like something you work through together. I think this might be one of the greatest gifts of secure love. You don't spend your days wondering if they like you. You don't constantly check for signs. You don't obsess over every interaction. You don't feel the need for daily reassurance that you're still okay, because healthy love creates stability. You know they're there. You know they're invested. You know they care. And because of that, your emotional energy gets freed up for other things. You're able to focus on your life, your goals, your friendships, your faith, your healing. This is so important. The relationship becomes part of your life. It doesn't become your entire life. And that's such a different experience than living in constant uncertainty. Okay, so let's talk about something that surprises that we've already talked about it, but it still surprises people. Um, and I think we need to go back and just sort of dig into it a little bit more. And that's what we talked about with secure love can feel boring at first. Not because it is boring, but because it's not activating the same nervous system responses you've become accustomed to. There's no chasing, no guessing, no emotional roller coaster. There's not the constant highs and lows, no intermittent reinforcement, no wondering if they're coming back. And for someone whose nervous system has been conditioned to chaos, calm can initially feel like a lack of chemistry. But often, it's not a lack of chemistry, it's a lack of anxiety. And those are two very different things. The butterflies you're missing, they may not actually be love. They may be uncertainty. They may be fear. They may be old attachment wounds being activated. Healing often means learning to feel comfortable with peace. And as I wrap this up today, I want to leave you with this thought. Healthy love is not supposed to feel like a constant emotional emergency. It's not supposed to leave you confused or questioning your worth. It's not supposed to leave you guessing where you stand. Healthy love feels safe. It feels consistent. It feels honest, and it feels stable. And if that feels unfamiliar to you right now, that doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It just means your nervous system is still learning what safety feels like. The goal isn't to find someone who keeps you chasing. The goal is to build a life and relationships where your heart can finally rest. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today. And please subscribe so that you do not miss an episode with us. Kelly will be back next week. We are so incredibly thankful for you. And we send you off with so much love.